Thank you very much, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Jagan Reddy, for joining me on Frankly Speaking. I just want to begin on a light note. Do you frankly speak only once in 5 years? Because last time when I interviewed you was at the cusp of the 2019 elections. Now 2024, we are back. How are you looking at the elections in Andhra Pradesh?
God's grace now, touch wood, we'll sweep.
You'll sweep?
We'll sweep.
No anti-incumbency? Who are you up against? Against the powerful NDA alliance of TDP and BJP on one side, and a family alliance on the other. Your sisters contesting and heading the Congress in Andhra Pradesh. Who is Jagan Reddy fighting with?
We're fighting with everybody, man.
With everybody?
Yeah, basically. So anyway, these people are together. But the other important aspect is even Congress is also propped up by Chandrababu Naidu. That's the unfortunate thing. In fact, Chandrababu Naidu remote controls Revant, and through Revant it is my sister. So whatever they're trying to do is they're trying to ensure that Congress splits the so-called my vote share, and for that they needed some tall face. So they brought in my sister against me, so that my votes, actually the vote share that they think would be split. So it would help them, is what their version of things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, in a democracy, it's a bipolar. It's one against everybody else. So, and in a democracy, it's 50% plus. And ultimately, God is watching.
God is watching, but people vote here on the soil of Andhra Pradesh. But you made a huge charge. Revant Reddy, the Chief Minister of Telangana, is hand in glove with Chandrababu Naidu, you are saying, and the BJP is just looking on, they don't know?
I think you should ask them whether they know anything about it or not.
Are you a bad loser because the BJP did not do an alliance with you, which is why you are saying this?
In fact, I've never asked for any alliance with anybody, leave alone BJP. So basically, in our state, both the national players are insignificant, be it BJP or be it Congress. In our state, it's only between the regional parties that we fight it out. So when that were to be the case, the question of alliance itself doesn't arise with anybody. And as far as we are concerned, we've delivered a great governance, is what we feel. So when that were to be the case, we go it alone.
But you've helped the BJP a lot, especially in passage of bills in Rajya Sabha. You've always come to their rescue. Do you feel let down that the BJP has gone and made an alliance with the TDP?
Absolutely not. It's their wish. Why should anybody be thinking otherwise? It's their party, their wish. They make choices of their own. We make choices of our own. And as far as supporting BJP is concerned, even that, it is very specific. It is very, very specific to those matters which are in our interest, that are good. If something is good, we support. If something is not good, then we do not support. It's very issue-based support.
So almost everything that the BJP proposed, whether it was GST, whether it was Article 370, you thought it was good for the country and supported, or was there pressure on you?
No, whatever does not, see, there are a lot of minority bills that we did not support. A lot of minority bills that we did not support also. In fact, we passed a resolution also in the Assembly on CAA also, on NCA also, and also gave it to the central, sent it to the central.
Many people say that special status for Andhra Pradesh was something that you wanted in return for the support you gave to the BJP on several of these bills. That promise, did you get anything? Any assurances? 5 years passed, and that was the major plank on which you fought the 2019 elections. Do you not think that people of Andhra Pradesh will ask you that question?
No, basically one needs to understand. See, the special status was compromised by Telugu Desam Party, by Chandrababu Naidu during his regime. And we are the people who strongly believe that special status to our state, which was promised in the parliament. But unfortunately, even Congress did not do a good job there because they did not incorporate this promise into the act. And that is what has given the BJP the freedom to not render us the special status. So both the national parties played havoc with Andhra Pradesh state as far as special status is concerned. And as far as we are concerned, dealing with special status is concerned, special status would always continue to be a very important aspect in our journey. And this special status, at some point of time, God willing, would come to us, provided whomsoever comes in Delhi, they do not get these numbers. So that's the reality of it.
Are you saying that if it's a majority government, you will not get special status? If it's a coalition government, you have a better bargaining position with New Delhi?
It's a fact. I mean, if you were to be in my shoes, and if you were to speak, if someone were to ask you this question, you would also say the same thing.
Well, thankfully, I'm never going to be in your shoes. But
no, it is what is visible to anybody's eyes.
So do you think this time will be a coalition government or will it be a majority government?
I do not know about the national scenario. I think you are a better judge there. So I can only give...
I don't know of any politician who hasn't calculated this because a state that requires support from the center always makes its own assessment, and a chief minister as sharp as you would have made his own assessments, because if the BJP comes to power, situation X would prevail. If the opposition, which will have the Congress party, which you have sworn to be on the other side of, the situation would be different. So how are you assessing the situation?
I mean, see, what the reality is, it's impossible to predict. Because I have not been touring the country, and it's only the surveys that come out on the national channels, which might be true, which might not be true. So,
do you think Rahul Gandhi can be Prime Minister?
Between Rahul Gandhi and Modi ji, I've seen both of them. And except for few aspects concerning minorities, by and large, as a person, that man is better.
That man, Modi?
Being Modi ji is better as a person when compared to Rahul Gandhi. Because I've seen the worst of Rahul Gandhi. In fact, my own state, my own case, where my father, who actually worked with them, and after his death, how the Congress party harassed that very family. So I'm a witness to it. So I can never say that Rahul Gandhi is better off than anybody else. So that's about it.
Then how does this work for your sister? Has she forgiven, moved on? Is power politics far more important than possibly, the letdown feeling that you feel is not shared? And it's not one sister, it's two of them. Sharmila and Sunita.
they have their own reasons, and unfortunate thing is they're just on the wrong side, doing the wrong thing. And because I strongly believe that in politics, in one generation, you should have one person lead. Everybody else should be the supporting characters. It's not that there is a second generation. It's not that they are from second generation. So all what I told them is, please do not come into politics. Do business, do anything of your choice. We will all support you. But do not come into politics and do not create a situation where people exploit our relationship. It's all what was discussed. And because we did not support so, then the rival factions in between intervened. And,
rival factions from where?
From Chandrababu Naidu, most important.
They listen more to Chandrababu Naidu than you?
Now, sir. Now, unfortunately, yes. See, unfortunately, what is very important in politics is having some kind of principles, some kind of credibility, character. The very party that is put my father's name in the charge sheet, the very party that is sent her own brother into prison, the very party that is actually filed a petition along with co-petitioner as TDP. You know who the petitioners in my case are? None other than Congress and TDP. Until my father was alive, he was an honorable man. Until I was in Congress party, he was an honorable man. Suddenly he becomes less honorable because I left the Congress party. And that too for what? Because they did not understand the value of the sentiment that I had given at my father's crash site. So I was pushed out. And then it just didn't stop there. Because I suddenly became a political rival, they wanted to ruin my, they went ahead and forged false cases, which I'm trying to fight even till today.
Is that why you put Chandrababu Naidu behind bars?
See, Chandrababu Naidu's issue is something else. See, Chandrababu Naidu has done something what he should not have done. He was involved in scams what he should not have done. And because he is involved in scams, because there is sufficient evidence, good enough evidence, it was debated in the courts. When Chandrababu Naidu was arrested, the matter was referred to the courts. And there was a big hearing. And courts were convinced with the facts produced by the state government. And that is why he was put behind bars for 52 days.
But he eventually got bail.
No. Eventually, bail is a right that anybody gets at some point of time. But is there sufficient? If the evidence is not sufficient enough, then he would not have gone to the prison. So Chandrababu Naidu's issue is totally separate issue. And as far as politics, as far as this issue is concerned, is separate.
So your sisters, are you saying, had larger ambitions in politics, which is why they split away from you because you wouldn't let them come into your party, so they went the other side?
See, basically, if I were to let in, it would become family-run politics. See, once you bring in from the same generation too many people from the family into politics, it doesn't become a party. It becomes something else. So one needs to have clarity that there is no succession issue now. I'm still young. Succession issue probably comes maybe 20 years down the line. This is a separate story altogether, when it comes up, how to deal with it then. But now we're in the same generation. How many of how many of us are going to come into politics? See, it's going to ruin relationships within the family. See, if somebody comes home, there should be a situation where people freely talk, people freely sit down, chat. But it cannot be politics, politics, politics everywhere. And
Do they come over to your house? Do you meet your sisters? Or is that relationship gone?
now, unfortunately, now the fact that she is joined with Chandrababu Naidu, she is joined with she is playing the role what Chandrababu Naidu wants her to play, and she is joined the very Congress party, supporting the very Congress party, which has done so much of injustice to my family.
Her family too.
Unfortunately, yes. But that kind of emotions, that kind of feeling, if it were not to exist, then it's very unfortunate.
How does your mother manage keeping two sides of the family balance?
Basically, today politics is not about who is contesting, who is not contesting. Today the politics is about there is a government in the state which we strongly believe is delivered. And it is Jagan versus the rest. And it is the people who actually will be voting to showcase their support. So that's the politics today. So forget about the family politics, forget about all these aspects which are...
But why do you keep bringing in the fact that Chandrababu Naidu wanted her to do and that is why she is doing? What's the evidence that you have for that? Why could it not be just somebody in the Congress who probably gave her hope that she can play a political role?
The fact is, I know what's happening.
Are you tapping phones?
Why should anybody tap phones?
Revant Reddy says the KCR government.
She's my own sister. I know what's happening also. No? Don't I know? Who is playing what? Who's playing dirty?
But then, when she says that the legacy of your father, and today Nari Shakti is something that we must believe in. The legacy of the father cannot be the sons only. It will also be the daughters. They also have a share in it. How would you respond to that?
See, basically, what you need to understand is, we're not fighting for legacy here. See, my father passed away in 2009. Today we're talking about 2024. It's 15 years since my father passed away. Today we are fighting a state in which there is an incumbent chief minister who's delivered 5 years of governance, and people would be casting their vote if they were to believe that they were to believe that I had delivered, then they would be in my favor. If they were to not believe, then they would be voting otherwise. So that is the fight that we are currently involved in. We're not talking about legacy here. We're not talking about any of those factors here.
Will the three-way split, Congress, NDA, Jagan Reddy, will that impact your vote base in Andhra?
Today, mark my words, post-election again, you can come back and...
Okay, that's a promise. What's the number you were saying?
Congress will not even get one vote more than Nota. And none of the above is Nota. Congress party will not even get one single vote more than Nota. Mark my words.
And the TDP NDA?
There obviously it's a bipolar, as I said. It's a bipolar. So
last time you have a big record to compete with. 151 out of 175 was your tally in the assembly, and I think about 22 seats out of 25 in the Lok Sabha. What are you putting the numbers at this time?
See, basically, it's a 50% mark, which is the most important, significant mark in a bipolar poll. Last time also we were 49.96 or 95 or 50%. This time, God willing, God's grace, what I believe is we would exceed that percentage. It's what I believe. So let's see, you're there, you're a apologist, your television is there, you'll be watching the numbers, so let's see.
Do you believe EVMs are fixed? Because that's what the opposition says nationally.
I do not know about all those aspects, but all I believe is the rest democracy is still alive, is what I believe in. And I don't think anybody could actually go that far. That's what I believe in.
You have questioned him a lot this election season. You've even targeted his alliance with the BJP. Why do you think that alliance, it existed in 2014, it's come back now after 10 years. Why do you think that is an opportunistic alliance?
See, basically, if one were to be contesting, in the manifesto what the parties release should be the guiding factor. And your performance is rated when you go for polls based on the fact that what have you promised and what have you delivered. This is the guiding factor. The same very people with Chandrababu Naidu's signature also printed as a pamphlet. They have circulated these pamphlets to every house. What I keep showing in every public meeting of mine, I keep showing that very pamphlet signed by Chandrababu Naidu, sent to every house in 2014, listing out all the important promises that he made himself, which has a photograph of all these three people also. Now, whether those people are aware of it or not, I do not know. That is for them to answer. But all three photos, who were the alliance partners, printed with Chandrababu's signature, circulated to every house. That pamphlet I keep showing in every house, every meeting of mine. And I keep showing that. And I ask one simple question. I just read out all the promises that were made in 2014. And I said, tell me now, at least one of these promises mentioned here, have they been fulfilled? Not even one. And that is why that alliance, that is why Chandrababu Naidu was swept out of power with that kind of numbers. Swept out of power with that kind of numbers. Out of 175, we scored 151. Out of 25 MPs, we scored 22 MPs. And now, that very alliance, the same very Chandrababu Naidu, is now coming up with another manifesto.
But one thing has changed. People have tested you for 5 years. Why do you think people will believe your governance model over and above what was delivered by Chandrababu Naidu?
Chandrababu Naidu, there was no delivery. That is why he was swept out of power. And today, our manifesto, which is only a 2-page document, which was promised in 2019, today, 99% of the promises have been fulfilled. Not only fulfilled, the manifesto every year is taken to the houses of the people, given to the people. We ask them to tick themselves. First year we started off with 86, 87%. We're 99% now. That is the kind of credibility that the governance model of our party shares today. And that is why this confidence in me is there.
But many people say that you panicked, which is why you took out your Siddham Yatra. You thought that Chandrababu Naidu had been put in jail. When he came out, there was a sympathy swing towards him. That's how the opposition is talking about your panic reaction. How would you respond to this question raised by the opposition?
When did I start Siddham meetings? And as a political party, I am doing what I am supposed to be doing. As a political party, they are doing what they are doing. And because I am moving into public, because I'm conducting huge public meetings, and because people are coming to my public meetings and not to their meetings, so they are scared. You should be asking them the questions. Why is it that Jagan is attracting so much of crowds? Why is it that you're not able to attract the same very crowds? You should be asking them.
So let me ask you, another family controversy that happens, the Vivekananda Reddy murder row. The wife of your uncle, also along with your sisters, don't think you've done justice to this investigation in the last 5 years. And one of the people who's not above suspicion because the investigation is not over is actually now representing the seat.
Now, basically, this is a matter which is between the cousins. One of my cousin, that is one of my sister, makes an allegation of another cousin of mine who is a current MP. So between the brother and the sister, the allegations are thrown. But the unfortunate thing is, this very brother, who is earlier also an MP, parliament member, this very sister spoke high of him after the incident after the murder incident. So why is it that she suddenly changes path now? Because she is in nexus with Chandrababu Naidu.
Every problem has a Chandrababu Naidu connection.
That is how the state is. State is Jagan versus Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu is mobilized all these people against Jagan because he is not able to take Jagan alone. So if he were to be so confident about himself, and if he were to think that the government that I am running has anti-incumbency, then why does he need so many people? Why does he need so many parties? That fact alone itself is an example of where he stands and the kind of scheming that he is doing.
So in the end, baseline, do you agree with Prime Minister Modi when he says parivarvad nahi hona chahiye? Because politics and family sometimes makes a disturbing cocktail.
I strongly believe, what Modi ji has spoken is something else. What I'm not fully aware of what he has spoken. But I strongly believe definitely. Yes, from the family, you need to be very balanced. If you're not balanced, then the kind of problems that actually come up, the allegations that actually would be leveled, it becomes impossible to run the party. The anti-incumbency will creep in. And you need to be aware of that. You need to be conscious. If you're not conscious, then the party would not last.
So, Mr. Chief Minister...
In fact, I had, in one of the public meetings when I had gone there for my nominations in Pulvendula, where she is contesting as an MP, where my brother once again is contesting as another cousin of mine is contesting as MP on the other side, from my party. I gave a statement. I said, God has bestowed this position of Chief Ministry on me, and not to make money for myself, and not to make crore patis of my family, but to serve the downtrodden. And please do not say that I have kept somebody aside. Please do not say that I have kept somebody aside, because that is not my job. My job is to work for the downtrodden. That is what I said in the public meeting of mine also.
But then allegations of corruption are levied against you anyways by your opponents.
How can anybody talk about corruption? 2,70,000 crores of DBT. With Aadhaar numbers, with account details, every family, 90% of the households have benefited. Never in the history of this state, 2,70,000 crores of rupees through DBT. How can anybody say corruption?
So do you think this is just political rhetoric? What about the cases against you in the CBI? Does that give enough ammunition to your opponents?
See, the cases on me is not during my governance. The cases on me were the forged cases by Chandrababu Naidu and by Congress after my father's death, when I became a political threat. And the most unfortunate thing is, neither was I an MP nor an MLA then. These are very important aspects. And neither was I an MP nor an MLA then. And neither was I staying in Hyderabad then. And neither did I speak to an IAS officer or an IPS officer or any of the ministers then. These are realities. In my case.
You decided to get into politics only because you felt targeted?
In 2009, that was when I became an MP. And within 100 days after I became the MP, my father passed away. Within 100 days, exactly on the 100th day, he passed away. And after that, it was a fight with everybody.
Do you think you've paid a dear price in walking out of the Congress?
In fact, it is. 16 months of my life, who is to pay for it? Put into prison for what reason? For what reason?
When the Congress today says that the BJP government at the center uses agencies against the opposition, what do you feel?
So basically, what did Congress do? See, my cases have been, this is what, 2001, when was my father chief minister? 2004 to 2009. We're talking about 2024 now. What did Congress do then? Everybody who's in power abuses power, unfortunately. These people point fingers at BJP and not noticing that if you were to point one finger, 4 fingers down beneath are pointing towards you. That is what these people do not understand.
Why have you stayed away from both the NDA and the India alliance? Was it not convenient for you to join the India alliance, because all opposition leaders from Akhilesh Yadav to Rahul Gandhi to Mamta Banerjee to all of them are together in that?
Basically, what one needs to understand is both the national parties are insignificant in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So why should anybody join anybody? This is the fundamental question. And issue-based support could always be extended as long as we choose the issues, where to support, where not to support. If we think that it's not going to hamper the interests of sections that we support.
Would you be supportive of Uniform Civil Code?
We will not support.
Would you be supportive of one nation, one election?
That's a separate issue. We would support.
You would?
We already did. Why not?
Would you support an NRC if it came?
We would not support.
So what you're saying is that Jagan Reddy and YSRCP has an identity of its own, which it is not willing to compromise at any level. Is that a tenet of politics that you are completely committed to?
It's absolutely right, Ma. Basically, what I strongly believe is, see, we do politics. We need to do it the right way. And I strongly believe credibility is the most important thing. Be it with anybody, be it with any relationship, most importantly with people.
What do you think of Prime Minister Modi? You've had several meetings with him. Even recently you were closeted with him, and there was a lot of talk about possible alliances and all. What are your first impressions of Prime Minister Modi?
As far as Modi is concerned, Modi ji is concerned, as I've said earlier, there is nothing. See, I've seen Rahul Gandhi, I've seen Congress, and I've seen Modi ji. On few fundamental issues we differ, especially concerning minorities. Otherwise, there is no reason as to why he is not a good leader. It's as simple as that.
And Rahul Gandhi?
Rahul Gandhi is a separate story. Rahul Gandhi is...
Assess him as a politician and a possible future Prime Minister. At least a candidate aspiring to be one.
Let me not be too critical there.
No, but you should. You should assess people. It's important. Your views are important. You're in the arena of politics.
My personal views have already been spoken. See, my personal views of Rahul Gandhi are no great shake.
Yeah, but your assessment as a chief minister of a large population in Andhra Pradesh is important. What's your analysis, critical analysis of him as a aspiring prime ministerial candidate? You only smile. But are you holding yourself back?
Why should I criticize somebody is all what I'm saying.
So, if you say something about him, it will be critical?
Why should about anybody?
You think he has it in him to be a committed politician, a committed leader, 24/7 politician?
Why should we get into that subject?
No, because these are the two people against each other, fighting for the opponents for the top job.
Ultimately, it is not my opinion or your opinion that really matters. It's the opinion of the people that matters.
Okay, what do people see in Rahul Gandhi?
If people think he's a serious politician, if people think he's a better leader than Modi, then people will vote for him. If people think otherwise, then they will not vote for him. It's as simple as that.
What does Jagan Reddy as a citizen of India think?
See, Jagan Reddy as a citizen of India does not share a very good opinion about Rahul Gandhi because of various things what Congress party has done to Jagan. So it is my personal assessment is of what he's done to me, so I do not...
So it's biased, you are saying?
It is obviously going to be biased.
Okay. Let me then ask you, as far as Chandrababu Naidu is concerned, do you think he is serious competition for you this time in this election, given the fact that you now have a 5-year delivery in which you will be judged by people, number one, and number two, Chandrababu Naidu after jail, will that swing people's opinion?
None of these factors really matter. But today, after 5 years of governance, you have an incumbent chief minister heading for polls.
With a lot of freebies in this manifesto and in the past.
Please do not talk so lightly about these things, ma, because everything is a reform. Everything is a reform. See, the schools have been made into English medium. Schools have been upgraded. Third class onwards, you have children being taught TOEFL. Sixth class onwards, you have every classroom converted into a digital. Through IFPs, and we're delivering digital teaching. 8th class students get tabs. We are heading for IB syllabus. 2025, the first class from our state into IB syllabus. 2035, our children would actually get an IB certificate. It's a huge reforms which are being taken, which have been put in place, visible to the eyes of the people. Same thing with health. Every village is transformed. You go to a village, you would find a village secretariat delivering 600 types of services, which was never there before. Every 60-70 houses you have a volunteer, which was never there before. Every certificate, every benefit, every scheme, every service, door delivered. Every village has a village clinic, which was never before, which was not there before. Every village has a RBK, Raitu Bharosa Kendra, hand-holding farmers, which was never there before. Every village has an English medium school now, which was never there before. And modernized school, modernized curriculum, which was never there before. So there's so much of transformation which is happening, which has taken place in sectors of agriculture, in sectors of education, in sectors of health, in sectors of governance. Most importantly, governance. Before our regime had actually come in, if somebody would have spoken to you and said, a rupee from the government could reach people without corruption or without discrimination, you would not have believed.
What about the fiscal health of the state? You're under debt.
No, physical health of the state is much better when compared to what Chandrababu Naidu's regime. You have the figures readily available.
What about the fact that you haven't been able to decide between Vizag, Vijayawada and Amravati as a capital?
Well, we already decided. There's no confusion there. Vizag would be our executive capital. Amravati would continue as a legislative capital. So would Kurnool be our judicial capital. Why? There's no confusion. Anybody said. In fact, I would be swearing in from Vizag going forward.
You're that sure?
Yeah, why not?
You're swearing in from Vizag?
Yes, absolutely.
So are we going to speak on the 4th of June and have Jagan Reddy be asked the same question? Let me do a rapid fire. How many seats in the assembly?
See, basically, it's going to be bipolar.
BJP 0 you're giving?
See, how many seats will they get, ma? Maybe at best 1 seat.
Okay.
This is going to be the reality. And it's going to be a bipolar. It's going to be a bipolar, but mark my words, we will sweep.
Satta Bazaar gives you about 12.
What Satta Bazaar says or somebody else says, why should we be bothered?
Assembly.
As I said, we will sweep.
151 breached again.
As I said, we will sweep. Keep watching the numbers.
Who do you think will be Prime Minister of India?
And I don't know, ma. How will I be? How will I?
Every citizen of India today is only speculating about who's going to be Prime Minister of India.
See, if you were to ask me as a common man watching television, then it looks like Modi ji coming to power. I would never be a psephologist to say who's going to come to power, what Uttar Pradesh is going to be doing, what Bihar is going to be doing, what Madhya Pradesh is going to be doing, or Rajasthan is going to be doing, or as a matter of fact, even what Karnataka is going to be doing. How would I ever know?
So your world is only in Andhra Pradesh and you don't look outside. How can a chief minister not look outside?
See, anybody who would actually say something else is only estimating.
And you don't estimate.
Why should we estimate? See, as far as our state is concerned, this is where the reality is.
One big ticket commitment that you make to the people of Andhra if you were to come back to power.
What is one big? Everything is a big ticket. Everything is a commitment. The manifesto itself is a commitment. We have delivered the previous manifesto. And God willing, we will also deliver this manifesto also.
Do you miss your sisters?
Definitely, why not? Why should I not? Why would I not? Very unfortunate that she's left, but yes, definitely. There are feelings for her. Why not? Why would I not have?
Do you wish things were better?
Unfortunately, the line that she has taken, things couldn't have gotten better.
Well, let's hope and let's look at the elections. People of Andhra Pradesh will decide whether your prophecy is going to come true. And at a national level, we'll have to wait and watch. But thank you very much, Mr. Jagan Reddy. Very rarely do you open up, but thank you very much for speaking so frankly on Frankly Speaking.
Thank you.